The wind was sharp on the crimson cliffs of Vaylen Prime, carrying the tang of iron-rich dust and the faint, floral scent of native thorn blooms. Kael Dunn adjusted his breathing mask and scanned the canyon below, its shadows carved into stark lines by the dying light of twin suns. He hadn't come here looking for trouble, only for the rumored alien ruins half buried beneath the rockfall. But trouble had a way of finding humans, especially when they were alone on an alien world with nothing but a pulse pistol and an explorer's stubborn curiosity. Kael had just crouched near an ancient stone pillar when he felt it, a whisper of movement behind him, too deliberate to be the wind. He spun. An arrow, sleek and black-feathered, sliced the air toward his chest. Instinct moved faster than thought. Kael's hand shot out, and the world seemed to freeze for a heartbeat. His fingers closed around the arrow's shaft, catching it inches from his heart. The silence that followed felt heavier than a mountain stone. Across the clearing stood its owner, a tall, graceful figure clad in dark leathers and ceremonial bone plates. Her silver hair, bound in warrior's braids, shimmered in the last rays of sunlight. She lowered her bow, eyes wide with disbelief, and something else, something raw and electric. Their gazes locked. Kael let the arrow drop, its tip clinking softly against the stone. "Care to explain?" he asked, voice calm though his pulse thundered. The alien woman blinked. Her voice, when it came, was low and melodic, yet carried an edge sharp as the arrow she'd loosed. "You caught it, with your bare hand." "I've been told I'm quick," Kael said. He forced a small, crooked smile, but the humor died quickly when he saw her expression shift, not to anger, but to a deep, grave resignation. "You have invoked the binding," she whispered. "The what?" "By sacred tradition of the Vaelor," she said, stepping forward, bow lowered. "If a warrior's arrow is caught mid-flight, she must offer herself in bond as mate." Kael's heart stumbled in his chest. "Mate? As in marriage?" She nodded, jaw tightening as if the words tasted bitter. "So says the oldest law. You have shamed my challenge, and now I must honor you, or forfeit my name and clan." Kael raised both hands, palms outward. "Wait, I didn't mean to invoke anything. I just didn't want to die." "I know," she said softly, and the certainty in her voice made something tighten in Kael's chest. For a moment, neither of them moved, the wind whispering between them. They made camp in the ruins as the night settled, shadows creeping like living things across cracked stone and alien glyphs. A small fire crackled between them, and Kael finally saw her fully. She was younger than he'd first thought, her face marked by ritual scars but still striking, with golden eyes that seemed almost luminescent in the firelight. She moved with the fluid confidence of someone trained from childhood to fight, and perhaps to kill. "I am Teyla of Clan Vaelor," she said, staring into the flames. "Hunter of the Third Circle." "Kael Dunn, just a salvage scout from New Damascus," he replied. "No titles, I'm afraid." Her gaze flickered to him, then back to the fire. "Human reflexes are legendary," she murmured. "I thought they were exaggerated. Now I see why your kind survived the Void Wars." Kael winced. "Most of us didn't, but we're stubborn." She gave a small, reluctant nod, as if respect was fighting through disappointment. They sat in silence a while longer, broken only by the hiss of the fire and the sigh of night winds through stone. Later, Kael found himself watching her from across the flames, how the firelight traced the planes of her face, the faint weariness hidden in her shoulders. "You don't look happy about this binding," he said gently. She stiffened. "It is not what I wished. I challenged you because I thought you were a grave robber defiling sacred ground. To fail shames me, but to refuse the bond would shame my entire clan. And what about what I want?" Kael asked, more curious than accusing. Teyla met his gaze, golden eyes steady. The law does not bind you, only me. You may reject me, if you choose. Then I must live as an exile. The thought struck him harder than he expected. She had tried to kill him, yes, but out of duty, not cruelty. And now she was the one facing ruin. I'm not sure I can do that to you, he admitted. Teyla's eyes softened, just for a heartbeat. You would take a Vaelor, mate to spare her shame? I'd take you, he said, voice lower than he intended, because you seem worth it. A silence, deeper than before, settled between them. The fire popped. Teyla looked away, and for the first time Kael thought he saw color rise faintly beneath her ritual scars. Morning came, cold and sharp. Together, they left the ruins, heading for the Vaelor settlement where the binding would be recognized. They walked side by side along narrow cliff paths. Kael tried to joke to ease the tension, but Teyla seemed distracted, gaze distant. Finally, Kael asked, "Do you hate me?" She stopped walking, cloak rippling in the canyon wind. "No," she said, voice low. "I hate what this means. I trained my whole life to choose my own bond, to fight until I found one worthy, and yet." She trailed off, words strangled by emotion. Kael reached out, his gloved hand brushing her wrist. "Then fight me again." She looked up sharply. "What?" "Fight me again. Not to kill, just to see if your heart agrees with the law. If you win, you choose. If I win, then maybe it was meant to be." Teyla's breath caught, golden eyes searching his face. Slowly, she nodded. They squared off on a flat ledge above the canyon, dawn turning the sky to molten gold. Teyla drew a practice blade, silver-edged and graceful as her. Kael pulled a short, curved baton from his belt, meant for defense. She moved first, fluid fast, a dancer's grace behind every step. Kael ducked, deflecting blows, countering not with strength, but with unpredictable human rhythm. Dust swirled around them. Stone rang underfoot. Breath came ragged. Hearts beat like war drums. Finally, Kael saw an opening, an instinctual moment. He stepped inside her guard, disarmed her with a twist, and gently pressed the baton to her chest. They froze, breath mingling. Teyla's eyes widened. Not in fear, but something closer to wonder. Kael felt it too, a spark fragile yet fierce. "You caught me," she whispered. "No arrows this time," Kael said softly. They reached the Vaelor settlement by dusk. Stone towers carved from canyon walls, banners fluttering in ochre winds. Elders gathered, robed and solemn, to witness the binding. Kael expected words he wouldn't understand, but the ceremony was simple. Teyla knelt before him, offered her dagger, a symbol of trust and surrender. Kael took it, then helped her to her feet. A hush settled. One elder spoke in deep tones. "Do you accept this bond freely?" Kael looked at Teyla, her chin lifted in pride, eyes flickering with something unspoken. "I do," he said. "And you, Teyla of Clan Virulin, do you accept this human as the law demands, and as your heart decides?" Teyla's voice was quiet, but clear as dawn breaking. "I do." That night, they shared a tent on the cliff's edge. Neither reached for the other, not yet, but the distance between them felt gentler, filled with possibility. Outside, winds howled through canyons, a haunting song of rock and time. Kael lay awake, watching Teyla's silhouette against the starlight.